Do you have any practical advice on how to keep short accounts and not let things like hold resentment when it comes to like family matters with your spouse?
Family's tricky because we should all love our families. We both loved our families, Greg and I, and it's just hard. And as the kids get older, okay, we can't come Christmas, but we'll come this time, or we tried to get it in, whatever, or can y'all come to us? Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And we had to accept that. But I have found in marriage in general, whenever Greg and I get at that impasse and we just can't see eye to eye on things, I just have learned in my 39 years of marriage to take it to the Lord. Like, we're not going to see the same on this. Hey everybody, welcome to Wire Talk. So today our topic is going to hit close to so many people, and it's because we're talking about in-laws. And that can be a really tricky situation, but it doesn't always have to be a bad thing. So I'm looking forward today to diving into these amazing questions from the moms, and let's hopefully give them tools to put in their tool belt that's going to help them in their mother-in-law situation.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Wire Talk. It's November and we are so excited y'all are here with us today. We are going to be talking about something that most everybody can relate to, and it's in-laws and how to balance that relationship between your spouse and your in-laws and what to do when conflict arises and how to handle it. So I'm ready to jump in. Are you?
Yeah, I am.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Sorry, I had to get that in there. It was like, my brain was like, let's go. And I just went for it. I knew if I broke it, it just wouldn't have been the same.
Well, it's because you got on that cute dress and you're in like very executive go mode.
Well, thank you. I actually, shout out to my best friend, Mackenzie. I got it with her and we had a girl date the other day and that was so much fun. And being postpartum, it was fun to shop and be with a friend and just fill my own cup up. So it was really fun.
Well, you look amazing. And
Thanks,
I'm
Mom.
telling you, you look amazing after Ellie.
Thanks, guys.
Guys, Ellie is now a celebrity. We had over 22,000 of y'all looking at the introduction of her.
She's so
and it was
cute.
so sweet.
She's so cute.
That little, somebody said, well, that's a baby. What did they say?
Something about baby fever.
Yeah, now I've got baby fever.
Yeah.
And you do, just that newborn.
Exactly.
I love it. But yeah, this is going to be a great topic. And here's the thing. I want to, the reason I like talking about these hard topics is because it's not going to always go away. But I do think we can manage relationships and hopefully in the Lord definitely strive and work towards how to make it better.
Right.
So this podcast is not about, y'all know I'm not a negative person or anything like that. So this is not going to be a podcast on bashing our mother-in-laws. This
Absolutely
is going
not.
to be like, how do we make this relationship stronger and better? And I am a mother-in-law to 4 different people. And, it's a lot of work because you've got your family, you've got their family, and y'all are trying to merge the 2 families. You're trying to take the best of yours, the best of his, and make an even better family. So it can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah. Well, in my small group, woman said, in motherhood, have you felt lonely? And they said, I felt lonely until I found Birds on a Wire.
Oh.
And I think that's so true because I think Birds on a Wire just offers so much practical advice to moms in the seasons that they're in. And you don't really fluff, which is great, but you're also encouraging in it. So it's not like somewhere you're just always being negative and always making fun of. You're being encouraging and equipping moms to walk stronger walks in their motherhood, but also pointing them to the Lord, which is great. And if you ever are like, I don't want to miss an episode, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, or make sure you subscribe to like however you listen to the podcast so you never miss a new episode.
Spotify, Apple Tunes, whatever.
Yes. Are you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Let's
just
encourage
dive
these moms.
in. Let's do it. I love it.
All right. Question 1. I've been listening to you for a few years so that I can be a better grandma and learn how to overcome some of my old-fashioned areas of growth in parenting assistance. I have a wonderful daughter-in-law who is about to bless me with my grandchild number 3. My question is, what's the best way to help when number 3 arrives? She has 2 boys, 4 years and 2 years that I see often. She has a close relationship with her mom who lives close. I want to help without being invasive. Thanks so much for your wonderful down-to-earth advice for moms in every season.
Oh, I love that so much. First off, welcome grandmothers. I love that. And, that's going to be our next season that Birds on a Wire is going to go into. We are on the cusp of developing some resources for grandmothers out there because I'm now a grandmother and I'm realizing that parenting doesn't stop. It's just extended. So us grandmothers need support too.
That's
and
right.
I love that this grandmother's listening. She's writing in her questions. That's amazing. So thank you. So I also love the fact that this grandmother is asking, like, what can I do to help my daughter-in-law? So here's what I say you should do. You should just ask her, what do you need? And what daughter-in-law out there that doesn't want to be asked that question? And daughter-in-law, if you're listening, be honest with her. Sometimes you may want your mother-in-law to take the 2 older children so you can just enjoy the baby or take a nap when the baby's napping or whatever. Maybe you want the mother-in-law to take the baby so you can enjoy your 2 older kids and you may not get any one-on-one time with them anymore. And maybe that would be a big help. But mother-in-law, grandmama, if she doesn't say anything, I think meals are always a great thing to bring in a pot of soup or some spaghetti or tacos or a roast or whatever. That's always, even if she doesn't eat it that night, they can have it that week. Offer to clean some of her house. Like, hey, would you like for me to vacuum or, go upstairs and clean the bathrooms, and just help out? Or even just sit and watch the kids, play with the kids, do that kind of thing? Or would you like to, one thing my mother-in-law did is she would watch the kids and let Greg and I go out. And it was always that second week that I'd had a child. She was just like, I know y'all aren't going to get much time to yourself, so here. And she always, this was really sweet. My mother-in-law would give me her credit card and she would say, get something for yourself, Karen.
Sweet.
Maybe a new top or, I didn't go crazy or whatever, but a new top or get an outfit if you see an outfit, but I want to treat you to that. And it just really made me feel special because I saw that she saw me and valued me. And I really enjoyed my time with your dad, just he and I, because, you're busy with a newborn in the house. So, especially if it's your number 3, as you well know.
Yeah, I was going to say, being as this is literally my life right this second, my mother-in-law has done a lot of those things. She brought us a meal.
Yeah.
She didn't ask me what I wanted. She just brought me a meal. And I know that was actually really nice because she knows my kids and she knows what the kids are going to eat. And she says, let me bring dinner for you. And it was just nice not to have to tell her what I wanted, not to think about it. She just brought it and it was wonderful. Also, she took some of the big kids and, took them out for a movie or to the park and I was able to stay home. So that felt really refreshing. And I think also as a daughter-in-law, she said, can I come over and snuggle with Ellie for a little bit? And I was like, absolutely. And I just was like, please let me know when you want to come over because I am super close with you. And I was thankful that she was able to feel comfortable asking me to come over and see the kids and stuff like that. So, but you're right. You have to, as a new mom, it's okay to say yes to help because you do need it. That doesn't mean you can't do it, but why would you not say yes to help? Sometimes
that's exactly right.
That's a pep talk to Emily because I need help, and that doesn't mean I'm a bad mom to say I need help.
That's exactly right. Yeah. It means you're a human mom.
That's right. Okay.
During the month of November, our hearts are especially full of gratitude for you, our listeners, and for every person who supports Birds on a Wire. Because of your generosity, moms all over the world are finding truth, encouragement, and practical help for their parenting journey.
Financially supporting Birds on a Wire has been such an easy decision for our family because we just pray that other moms can benefit from Karen's wisdom in the same way I've been able to. Karen does a great job of making kind of the difficult motherhood things seem practical. She can provide biblical wisdom and just speaks into some of the messiness of motherhood and helps us find joy and a clear path in it. For me, just practically speaking, my mom had passed away a couple years before my kids were born. And so I was researching all these books and things. And when I stumbled upon Karen's podcast, it just stuck with me. She just was really somebody that I would have in my ear while the kids were napping or while I was doing dishes. And now they're 9 and 10, and I still am finding so much wisdom and advice in listening to her. A fun fact is that now, years later, we ended up at the same church and in the same small group. And in case anybody's wondering, Karen is exactly who you think she would be. She's an awesome mom and an awesome friend, and I'm super thankful to have stumbled upon Birds on a Wire.
Stories like that remind us why we do what we do. And they're made possible by the friends and supporters who give to keep this ministry going. If you'd like to be part of our support team, you can join us today by visiting boaw.mom/give. That's boaw.mom/give. Now let's get back to the show.
Next question. My question has to do with marriage and in-laws. My mother-in-law works for an international nonprofit that we have. My husband's family is from Ecuador, and we live in Ecuador. My mother-in-law doesn't get along well in family situations or work. I know this puts everyone in a hard position. Who should be the one to handle the in-law problems? Should my husband talk with his side, or should I? I have expressed frustrations with him and have recently met with our pastor and my mother-in-law to try to sort some things out, but wasn't entirely successful. How should we handle this big elephant that is tearing us apart? I feel like my feelings aren't valid to him, or he doesn't believe me when I tell him when things have happened, or he just ignores them. He says it is my heart and I need to get over it. Help.
Well, that's hard, and in-laws can really be tough, and especially if your husband's not seeing what you're seeing. And in his defense, the mother-in-law may not be showing that side to him. So he only sees the side that she shows him. So I personally think that your husband should deal and talk with his family, and you should deal and talk with your family. I feel like that goes best, and I know that's worked better in our family, even with our children. And like, if there's a problem, you come to Greg and I and talk to us about it. It's normally not Brian, or with any of the kids. Henry Cloud wrote a book, Boundaries. It's excellent. And I would read that book. I would ask your husband maybe to possibly read that book. And you could ask your mother-in-law to read that book, but I'm joking. That's not going to work. But anyways, I would read the book, and then you've got to realize that boundaries are for you. They're not for the other person. So you cannot put a boundary on someone. You put a boundary to keep the good into your life and keep the bad out, if that makes sense.
It does.
So I would definitely do that. And then I just want to caution you not to get in a war with your husband over this. It's just not worth it. I know you feel like you're not seen, you're not valued by your husband and all that. And if you allow those feelings and thoughts to continue to spiral, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So what I would strongly encourage you to do, Jesus tells us all, come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take up my yoke and follow me. My burden is light. And I just think this is a burden. And I would take it to Jesus, and I would lay it at his feet, and I would just say, this is the way I feel. My husband is not hearing me. He's not seeing this culturally, whatever. He can't. I don't know. It doesn't even matter. This is what's going on, and I need help. And Jesus, I'm laying it at your feet, and I need you to take this burden off of me. And he will. And I'm not going to even begin to tell you how or why he'll do it. I just know he will, because I've done this several times in my life throughout various situations. And he does it, and because he's Jesus. And I would not get into a war with your husband over this. I would pray and ask God to open up his eyes, your husband's eyes, so that he can see your perspective. And I would also pray, God, open up my eyes towards my mother-in-law. And I pray that I would see her as you see her. Because you know what? God loves her too. And there's various things going on here in her life, in your husband's life. And I would just give it all to the Lord and just say, I don't know how you're going to work all this out, but I need you to do it. So
That's so encouraging.
Well, it's hard because we want a quick fix. We want it to be answered today. And a lot of this is hard issues, and it's just, you got to just take it to the Lord.
Yeah, for sure. Next question, Mom says, "Hey there, Karen." I love when they use your name.
I love
Hey
it.
there, Karen. I absolutely love and so thankful for the work you do. Your podcasts and books, they've honestly changed my parenting and helped grow my relationship with God. Oh, so wonderful.
I love that.
My question. My husband has 2 married brothers. One sister-in-law and brother spend more time with her side of the family. They never miss a holiday, go to her nieces, nephews' activities who live hours away. We live 10 minutes from them, and they rarely come to see our kids' activities or spend holidays with us. This bothers my mother-in-law because she feels like the same effort isn't being put forth for our family. It's been put on my heart recently to have a conversation with my sister-in-law about this. I feel like maybe she doesn't realize what's happening bothers us. I look forward to any and all advice. Thank you.
Well, first off, thank you for listening. And thank you for writing in your question. If she didn't do that, we wouldn't have Wire Talk. So
That's
I
right.
appreciate that. And most importantly, I love the fact that Birds on a Wire has drawn you closer in your relationship to God. That is my heartbeat for all of us mamas. So let's get down to your question. So my question back to you would be, are you close with your sister-in-law? Because if you're not super close with your sister-in-law, this conversation could go very not the way you want it to.
Very sideways.
Very sideways. And I would just be aware of that because I know your heart is so good for this sweet sister-in-law that you have. But if you're not close to her, she might take offense to what you're saying. So you just need to really evaluate, am I close to her? Can we have an honest conversation? Can I go to her and talk to her without pointing my finger at her the whole time? Because if you're doing that, she's not going to hear a word you say. So, and I would also really be in prayer before you have this conversation if you decide to have it. So, and I would just ask God to prepare her heart, to prepare your heart. And it's normal and natural for her to be closer to her side of the family. But I don't know. It's just tricky.
Very tricky.
It just depends on how open she is. Like if it were me and I didn't realize that was happening, I would want somebody to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would be like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 whatever my reasoning is. But not everybody's like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just really pray about it. Number one, prepare your heart, prepare her heart. And I would evaluate, am I close with this sister-in-law? Is this conversation going to do more damage than it's going to do good?
It's a good question to wrestle.
Yeah.
And to God with. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely.
Absolutely. All right.
That's what I would do.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Question 4. Help. We're at a standstill with my mother-in-law and it's breaking my heart. She's watched our 8-year-old since he was 6 weeks old, but lately things have gotten really tense. She's been upset about our parenting choices, like having our daughter in jiu-jitsu 3 days a week or asking to give up sugar during our church's Daniel fast, and she started talking to our daughter about it. That's led to a lot of confusion and hurt. We've tried to sit down and talk about it together. We wanted to go see a Christian meditator together or even have both of our pastors help us through this, but she refuses. Now she hardly sees our daughter and tells her I'm keeping them apart. We're just trying to protect our relationship with our child, but it's so painful. I can't help but question my decision to safeguard our relationship with our daughter, but every time I do, God speaks to me and gives me strength to stand strong. Are we doing the right thing?
Well, first off, if you feel like the Lord is telling you to stand strong and that's what your heart is telling you, then I think it's always wise to listen to God. I mean, I'm never going to argue with him.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. She did not write in the question. This was a very, very long question. You don't remember it because you don't answer the questions, but I do. But in this, she also talked about that her mother-in-law was having marital troubles herself. And so I think you should just take a step back and you got to look at the whole situation of what's going on in your mother-in-law's life. And she's having marital issues herself. So she is unhappy with what's going on in her own home. So she's therefore reaching out and trying to get other things to fill up her life. And as your daughter gets older and y'all are making decisions in your family and like the Daniel fast and, the other things that you talked about, she feels like she's losing control of that granddaughter. because she's doing jiu-jitsu classes 3 times a week, which takes away time from her as a grandmother, all that kind of stuff. So I just think you've got to keep in mind, this is a hurting woman and she's lashing out, So I think the boundaries are good that y'all are doing. I would hold fast. You and your husband are deciding what y'all want to do and the way you want your trajectory of your family to look. And if she can't honor that, the mother-in-law can't honor that, that's honestly her problem.
Yeah.
It's not yours. I know it hurts and I know it's hard, but it is her problem. So I'd let her deal with it. But also keep in the back of your mind, she's a hurting woman. She's lashing out. She's trying to grasp on to a granddaughter's love in hopes that it will fill up that void that's going on in her marriage. So I'd pray for her.
Yeah.
So That's a hard one.
That is it's a harsh reality, but it is true.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving right along.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Karen. I feel stuck between a rock and a hard place with my husband and my mother-in-law. His dad now lives in a nursing home, and it's a 7-hour drive to visit them. I push hard for us to make the trip at Christmas, even though my husband doesn't really want to go, because I didn't know how much longer his dad would be with us. My husband feels like his mom should be the one traveling now, since it's just her versus us with 4 kids. Our youngest is 6 months old, and he hadn't even met her. It was such a strain on our marriage to push for the trip. As in our family as a whole, it was a lot of effort. To me, family trips require effort and inconvenience and setting aside personal preferences. To me, family is worth all that. To him, he is content with just us, his nuclear family. How can I honor my mother-in-law without disrespecting my husband, especially when he's grown resentful towards her?
Well, first off, I'm inspired by this wife.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're really going the extra mile, and it's very commendable that you're trying to make such strong ties with your husband's family, and you want to keep y'all close. This really does sound, though, to me like a husband, mother, father situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that dynamic between your husband and his father and mother. His mother may not want to travel because she's old, and since her husband's in a nursing home, she would have to do it by herself. I don't know what her reasons are. There's always 2 sides to every story.
Yeah.
So if it comes up coming up Christmas, because it's November and that's right around the corner, and your husband really doesn't want to go, then I think as a wife, I would go to my mother-in-law and just say, I don't think it's going to work out that we come this year.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any way you could make the trip to us?
Yeah.
Even if it's just for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
And if the mother-in-law says, no, it's not possible, it's not feasible, I think you as a wife, just you did all you could do. I would not let this become a war between you and your husband, for whatever reason. It's his family. So if he says it's just too hard on our family with 4 kids and the ages that they are, I would respect that. Even though it's not what you wish, you will have conveyed that to your mother-in-law that you really do want to see her, but it's just too hard. Y'all can't make the trip. And I think I would just let it be.
Yeah, that's good.
It's hard.
Yeah. You said it twice. Don't let it become a war between the 2 of you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any practical advice on how to keep short accounts and not let things hold resentment when it comes to family matters with your spouse?
Yeah. I mean, family's tricky because, of course, we should all love our families. We both loved our families, Greg and I, and, it's just hard. And as the kids get older, you want those special moments at your house, and you don't want the kids to be in the car the whole time and all that. Luckily for us, both sides of our family sort of understood once that started happening. And we tried to, we can't come Christmas, but we'll come this time. Or we tried to get it in, whatever. Or can y'all come to us? Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And we had to accept that. But I have found in marriage in general, just take, in-laws out of it, whenever Greg and I get at that impasse and we just can't see eye to eye on things, I just have learned in my 39 years of marriage to take it to the Lord. Like, we're not going to see the same on this.
Yeah.
And I've talked to Greg. He's heard me. He's told me his side. I don't see or understand his side. He doesn't see or understand my side. So I just take it to the Lord. And I just like, you know what, God, we're both Christians. We both love you. We are definitely not on the same page. So I'm coming to you. I'm weary and I'm burdened and I'm laying this at your feet. That's why I told it in the earlier question. That has worked for me time and time again, not always with in-laws, but with other situations, and it works every single time. So that's what I would want to encourage the moms to do.
Yeah, that's good. Because
Mm-hmm.
you have a loving Father who loves you and he wants you to have rest.
Not only that, God loves me, God loves Greg, God loves his parents, my parents.
He loves
He
everybody.
loves our children, and he's going to work all things together for good. We have to remember that as Christians, God is working all things together for good.
Way to end a wire talk, Mom. That's great.
All right.
Well, thank you again for putting in your questions. We couldn't have a podcast without you. So we can't wait. We've got a really awesome rest of the month, and we can't wait for you to see it. Bye.